thank you so much for sharing your um, pieces of details of your life and like your true feelings about your experiences. And I guess I'm trying to say thank you for just being so vulnerable and opening up to us. But I really like how you explained your reasoning to be a counselor and helping students kind of, you know, delete that fear of going places out of their comfort zone. I enjoyed hearing your story about your college experience and kind of how you went about picking a college. I do believe that sometimes we have to go through our own problems and our own, bad situations, but so that we learn to teach other people what not to do or like how to go about it. And so I think what you're doing with counseling, knowing that you went first-handedly through like an experience where you felt like if like all these red flags could have been avoided in high school if you had that counselor. So knowing the counselor you want to be for the kids because you've had firsthand experience, that's gonna make your your whole counselor view, that's gonna improve it so much because you've been firsthandly through hard experiences. So be the counselor you needed. That's what I'm trying to say. You're being the counselor you needed when you were in high school, and that's gonna help so many people. Because you're right, going to college is very scary, especially when it's a whole culture change or something you're not used to. I went from a predominantly Hispanic. There, probably the ratio was like 85 Hispanic and 15% broken up into other races. That's how my high school was. So going to A&M was a huge culture shock for me because there's not a lot of Hispanics that go to A&M. Um, Mind you, find like a good group of friends to be with. So I totally relate to you saying that your freshman year, like you didn't make any friends, and then you were concerned because the new group of freshmen were coming in, and so it's like if you didn't make friends with the freshman group that you came with, like who are you gonna make friends with? So those are all like things that we don't think about that are gonna make us feel uncomfortable in college. Like we pick college based off of education and based off of where the best, school is for what we want to do. And then you get to the school you want to be at, and I know a lot of friends of mine got to the school they want to be at, and then yeah, they drop out or they go back home because they didn't feel socially accepted there. So you having those tips to provide for your students, you having that upper hand of being in the uncomfortable situation is gonna take you really far. So thank you for sharing your story. Actually, I really love also your your whole story about going to, like, you had to go to the Netherlands, or you went to the Netherlands and then you met your husband. So that's so cool. I feel like you really built your situation and you took what you had and you expanded it to great things. And even though, like, you said A&M, like you wanted to go to A&M, but then you got too scared to apply, like you're here now, and I'm so happy you're part of the A&M university system now. And I feel as if sometimes parts of your life, they get put on the back burner until like God is ready for you to explore. And I just feel like now that A&M is a part of you and you're going to be working on your masters, I feel like that is more than, like, you could have thought of for yourself. So that's I'm just really excited for your journey, and I cannot wait to hear more about, your children, your husband, your sixth graders. I love sixth grade too. I love fifth and sixth grade. Those are like my two favorite grades because you're right. Like, you can roll your eyes at them, but they still panic over not doing their homework and stuff. So I just like them because, yeah, they're not as mean as high schoolers and they care more than high schoolers. So I feel like fifth and sixth grade is like a good, funny kind of time to mess around and not mess around, but like you can still joke around with them and still get the academics across. So I agree with you on that one too. I just can't wait to hear more of your discussions, and I can't wait to hear more about you, and I'm rooting for you on your experience.